and welcome to another episode of the Friendly Fire Show. And today we are doing a part 3 of Before the Friendly Fire Show, Minor League Baseball edition. Why are we doing a part 3? Because I thought there would only be one part. I keep finding my old SD cards and finding even more fun things and crazy things and awesome stories we have from 2019 before we started the Friendly Fire Show, before we started videotaping everything and only did pictures. And so I have another story for you. And today, if you can see by my cap, we're talking about the Reading Fightin' Phils, or the Reading Fightins. So, and again, this was another trip we went on in 2019. And Reading is the best stadium you could possibly go to for many reasons. But the only reason you need to know is that they have free parking. You can stop watching the video now.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
And it was just an absolutely amazing stadium, probably my favorite stadium of all time. And as you can see by the schedule, a lot of people must be thinking that because it was voted America's #1 AA ballpark, and as you see by the sign out front, America's #1 classic ballpark. But the reason it's so awesome is just the whole vibe of the place. It's got a really cool seating bowl, a decent amount of seats behind home plate is reserved. All the rest are general admission, but it's like seat back seats. They weren't just like bleachers like you see places. It was like the cheap tickets and then like seat back seats for general admission, not just bleachers like a lot of places are. And then with that, kind of going into the under part of the stadium, the concourse, it was like a Wrigley Field-esque park, but imagine like it was all just perfectly clean. It almost looked redone. There wasn't a brick out of place, and it was painted with all the old logos, all the history of the team, all the players that played there. It was like a modern version of a classic ballpark, and it was just awesome. And then to go back into more of the vibes of the place, part of the concourse was outdoors, and it was like a street fair. It had a stage, entertainment, string lights going back and forth. Just super awesome. It was like being in an amusement park or a street fair with the vendors and merchandise and so on and so forth inside the baseball stadium. And in this one little park, there was like a net, so you didn't have to worry about like getting hit in the head with the ball. Like it was like a cool like hangout spot. And then with that, they had a pool in the outfield that was super awesome, a little overlook for the pool. And on the other side of the concourse, they had like batting cages where like you could see players actually hitting if you got there early enough, if they opened for BP and so on and so forth. And the stadium was just really accessible, like you got really close to the action. There were these kind of two big ramps, all throughout they had ramps to get up into the seats, but these two big ramps were like straight up, the dugout was right there. So it was like whether they were in the dugout and then like right next to it, it was just open. Like that's where the players would walk back and forth to the clubhouse. And I'm sure you could probably find pictures of them walking back and forth and so on and so forth. They'd be like signing autographs as they come back and forth, or like I said, as they're going to the batting cage, you can see them. It was just super accessible and super cool. And the story that I have that goes with this, while we were at the game, there was like a giant rainstorm that just randomly hit and it just like flooded. Like I don't know about the field because we started running through, the little outway onto the concourse down from the seats. And as you see from the pictures, we did stop and take some pictures and so on and so forth. But like how I was talking about, not the little ways to the seats, not the little inlets, but the two big ones on the side, the one we were standing in just started flooding. A horrible rainstorm, and it just started flooding. Like it was above my ankle, like between my knee, just below my knee type of thing. Like it was a whole bunch of water, washed the whole thing out. I don't know if they even started playing after that. We left soon thereafter and went back to our hotel. I don't remember seeing if it was played again after. But yeah, the whole vibe of the place was super awesome. I absolutely love that ballpark. Hopefully we get back there as soon as possible so we can do a real video of the Reading Fightin' Phils Stadium. I believe it was called First Energy Park or Stadium back then. Not sure if it's still called that now. Like I said at the beginning, always free parking, lots around the stadium. It was just easily accessible, easy to get to, an awesome time. And even though it did rain, it was still fun very accessible. We got a lot of time there. Just an awesome, awesome stadium. I can't even get over. I can't even express how awesome that stadium is. And thank you again to every minor league baseball team that has hosted us, will host us, and to all of you for watching. And remember to check out our 4-part docuseries coming out in September.